United States President Joe Biden's administration has for the first time permitted Ukraine to use the US-supplied long-range missiles for striking inside Russia. With 2 months left in office, the president has authorized the Ukrainian military to use the system known as ATACMS, that is ATACMS, to help defend its forces in the Kursk region of Russia. The development marked a significant change in the policy of the United States in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The weapons are likely to be used in response to North Korea's decision to send thousands of troops to Russia in support of Russian President Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine plans to conduct its first long-range attacks in the coming days without revealing details due to operational security concerns. For months, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has been urging that the restrictions on the missiles be lifted, allowing Kyiv to strike outside its own borders. On Sunday, Zelensky reacted to the report, saying that such things are not announced. Missiles speak for themselves.
Today there's a lot of talk in the media about us receiving permission for respective actions, but strikes are not carried out with words. Such things are not announced. Missiles will speak for themselves. They certainly will. Glory to Ukraine.
Russia has carried out its largest air attack on Ukraine in months, launching missiles and drones that killed several people and caused severe damage to the power system. A Russian missile strike killed 8 people in the northeastern Ukrainian city of Sumy on Sunday. After the country suffered a massive attack a night before. Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned the initial attack on Telegram. The Ukrainian Presidential Services released a video that showed emergency services at the scene tackling a fire near a residential building. The attack on Sumy follows a large-scale attack on energy infrastructure across the country the night before. Following the attack, Ukraine announced that it would be introducing nationwide emergency power restrictions on Monday. United Nations General Secretary Antonio Guterres said that a permanent escalation must be avoided in Ukraine. Guterres' statement came after Joe Biden's administration allowed Ukraine to use US-made weapons to strike deep into Russia.
And progress on poverty and anger.
Firstly, our position has been very clear regarding the needs to avoid a permanent escalation of the Ukraine war. We want peace, but we want peace with justice, in line with the resolutions of the General Assembly, with the Charter of the United Nations, and with international law.
All right, DD India's Amit Mukherjee joins us for more. Amit, good morning. Now, the United States President has given his go-ahead for the first time to Ukraine to use the US-supplied long-range missile for striking inside Russia. How serious or how grave is this, and what consequences or fallout will it have on the conflict?
Well, Preeti, the action comes exactly close to the heels of the fact that, the attack, which was the airstrikes, which were carried out by Russia in Sumy, which you pointed out earlier. Basically, it attacked multi-storied building, and apparently some lives were lost. And this decision from the US administration to allow Ukraine to use these deep strike missiles, which are basically ATACMS. Now, these ATACMS are, Army tactical missile systems, which have capabilities to strike about 300 kilometer range. Now, earlier they were only allowed to use the HIMARS, which are again high mobility artillery rocket systems, which US administration had approved Kyiv to use, against Russia. But they had very limited striking capability of about 50 miles, in fact. So this move now comes at a time, also when the G20 Summit is happening, and the focus will completely be on this particular issue, on the Russia-Ukraine conflict right now. And also it has come at a time when, President-elect Donald Trump has just won the US elections with a landslide victory, and in fact, in one of his major slogans have been, seeking presidency on the pretext that he will be able to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. So all these things put together, this has come at a very, very crucial time. G20 discussion, of course, and of course, just barely 2 months away from President-elect Trump taking over the office of the US administration. So a lot of speculations are, of course, happening whether it's a good move or not, because Western allies have always been asking the US to approve the use of these deep strike missiles for Ukrainian defense. But again, a lot of skepticism is there, a lot of speculations whether this is going to alter the dynamics on ground. In fact, President Zelensky has also been quite restrained, and I think the words which is coming out as to how much ammunition will the US be able to supply to Ukraine to carry out all these strikes. And also, there's a fear that this move might escalate the ongoing tension, because it might just expand the scope of the war. As it is, Ukraine have been, the Russia and Ukraine war has flown beyond the borders of these two countries, with the Korean troops being deployed at the front line by Russia against Ukraine, and also the support of the Western allies. So, I mean, this has definitely some potential to, widen the scope of this war, but a lot of people are again of the opinion that it is not going to create much of difference, except for proving to be some sort of a deterrent for Russia, which of course time will only say. Preeti?
All right, Amit, we'll leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details.